the leftist here's mug. And the distinction that I make between a leftist and a liberal is that leftists are people who believe in all the principles that I've espoused with regard to what I would call losers, and also tend to believe in the shutting down of open and public debate along those lines through top-down auspices. So I do make a distinction between liberals and leftists. That's specifically why I don't use. You'll notice in all of my speeches I never use the word liberal. I never do it. When I'm labeling a particular viewpoint, I never label it liberal because, again, I have many people who I am friends with who are liberals. I mean, I'm very friendly with Bill Maher, for example. Bill Maher and I disagree on a wide variety of topics. Bill is a liberal. He's certainly not a leftist. He's very much in favor of free speech, open conversation, and he believes in basic American values like, for example, property rights and freedom of speech and freedom of worship. Right? That's something that a cadre of the left really does not believe. And so I try to make that distinction pretty handily. My guess is if you're here and you're having a conversation, I'd label you a liberal, not a leftist.
So no bridging the gap with leftists. They don't get to bridge the gap.
Zero, no. Nope. None. Nope. Sears mug and suggest that many of the protests that we've been seeing on campus are actually sponsored from abroad. An official of Hezbollah, the Lebanese terrorist group, the Iranian Front Group, recently admitted that they have been funding student protests from abroad via front groups. Again, that's nothing new. This has been happening for decades. Avril Haines, who's the director of national intelligence, confirms that some of these protests have been funded by Iran. There's nothing new here. It just used to be that in the United States, we didn't tolerate that sort of thing. It used to be that in the United States, if you came here, we had a general rule. You have to like the place. And if you don't like the place, you can go. You can leave. And if you won't leave, we will make you leave. Data to suggest that many of the protests that we've been seeing